Hey everyone, I've got a video from Jake again that I want to watch, and honestly, it's because it's about something that's a little closer to me than um, actually England. But honestly, it's hard to find anyone talking about it or anything of this sort. So um, I kind of want to watch this, and honestly, I watched a very small portion of it. It's a little bit reactionary, and it's I don't know. Might be not for everyone, but whatever.
The shooting in Germany. So let's have a look at the shooting in Germany. And now that we know who it is, any guesses, Islamist? Just making an assumption here. You seriously just making a racist assumption? That's insane. That's insane that you guys are doing that. Turkish Muslim murders 6 in Germany. Oh, oh no, bro. Oh, would you look at this. Turkish Muslim murders 6 in Germany. 6 people were shot to death in Stade, Germany, at a youth facility. Authorities have now confirmed the shooter was a Turkish Muslim. Here's Elon Musk. Happen again! His Kaguya. Yeah, but at least he didn't win, right? Oh, at least we're not speaking German. Right, chat? At least we're not speaking German. No, instead we just have North Africans, beating French white kids to death. We've got sub-Saharan Africans masturbating on beaches in front of kids. We've also got Turkish Muslims shooting up a youth facility in Germany. We've got Muslims driving over people in cars when white people are just trying to have a nice shopping trip. Oh, but at least he didn't win, right? Let's see if we can get the full details here. The Post accurately reports a real mass shooting that occurred on June 29th, 2026 at a mother and child youth welfare facility in Stade, Germany, where a gunman killed 6 staff members, 4 women and 2 men, before being arrested. The shooter was a 45-year-old man born in Germany with Turkish roots.
So I wanted to stop there because I want to talk about this actually. Um, so the Turks have been there for a long time. Like I remember having Turks there when I was still visiting and when I was younger. Um, they were okay, but they definitely clustered together, and they definitely did not want to fully integrate, and they definitely wanted to bring their own culture and keep it inside of their families, and um, a handful might have actually truly became German in a way, but and actually it was kind of odd. Um, like in society itself, like they were better at acting German in society, but not at home. At home, they still had all their um, cultures, and when it comes down to this, it's it's well, family youth center. Let's hear more about that because I have an assumption, um, but let's see.
You know what? That's actually worse. I know people are just it's like, oh, but it was born here though, so he's been. Do you know what that's worse? The fact that he grew up around German culture, he grew up around white culture, and he still went ahead and did the most Muslim thing you can think of. 45-year-old man born in Germany with Turkish. He was 45 years in Germany, this guy. Probably not consecutive. Living in the Hanover area, police described the incident as a personal family tragedy stemming from a custody dispute over his infant daughter, rather than terrorism. Again,
Oh gosh. All right, my assumption's more correct than I thought. All right, so Muslim culture, at home. So wives and daughters, they're the best way of putting it is actually they're considered to be the property of the husband, um, in a way. And so, if we're talking about a Turk going through a custody battle, that means that the wife decided to get divorced, and well, I highly doubt the male decided to be divorced because there's an honor code there where it's like you know, um, well, also technically, Well, if it's your wife, then if you're not happy with the first wife, go ahead and find the second wife. Just you know, mistress, whatever, because they can. So, actually, there's been a couple of videos of that actually that came around. I can't remember when that was, but I remember last year sometime I found like police body cams of a situation similar to this where the daughter's doesn't want to listen to her father and wants to get out of the family and wants to be more American, I guess. And he comes to the wherever she was and pretty much, I think he either tried to choke her to death or used a pokey pokey. Um, and I can't remember what it was, but um, so that's my assumption was basically that it was going to be a family dispute over, and specifically, it's a daughter again. It's not. It's never sons. The sons, they don't. I mean, I don't know. There's some weird aspect to that I don't quite understand, but you know.
They're trying to move away from the terrorism part. Police described the incident as a personal family tragedy stemming from a custody dispute over his infant daughter rather than terrorism. Chat, real quick. Has this happened from an ethnically German man who's lost his daughter in a custody? Did he go ahead? Did he shoot up a youth center? There are thousands of German men who lose their children in custody battles all the time. Do they go ahead and shoot up youth centers? Do they? No, they don't do that, do they? No, it's weird that. Yeah, it's weird that with the Muslim population so far not as high as the German population, I would say that puts the per capita of Muslims again. They're trying to subvert away from terrorism, so it's never classified as terrorism. So whenever you look up how many terrorist attacks are being committed by Muslims, it's exceedingly low and is only ever attributed to very specific Islamic terrorist attacks. This I would consider to be a terrorist attack. Yeah, same as the car ramming, same as the stabbing, same as the beheadings, same as all these. They will never classify these things as terrorism, because if they continue to classify each and everything a Muslim does as terrorism, which it is, because they're doing it against us specifically. He didn't shoot up Muslims, he shot Germans. Oh, look at this. The post's framing as a Turkish Muslim attack drew significant pushback in replies, with users correcting that he's actually a German citizen. Go f yourself. If the blacks in America have proven anything at all, it's that being born in these places weirdly does not make you of this place. Actually, he was actually born in Germany, actually. Weirdly, that doesn't seem to have changed his behavior at all. I mean, you've got blacks in America that have been there for hundreds of years. Do they act right? Or do they still act like Africans? They still act like Africans, right? Like they're nowhere near Africa, and they haven't been to Africa in hundreds of years. They have no idea what Africans act like. And yet, they kind of still act like them, don't they? Isn't that weird? Like I've said before, you can take the black out of the jungle. You cannot take the jungle out of the black. BBC News actually covering this. Look at that. 6 people have been fatally shot at the Center for Mothers and Children. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but every single time I hear about a white guy losing a custody battle, they just go straight to a Mothers and Children youth center and just start shooting up the place. Victims, 4 women and 2 men, were all staff members of the facility in the northern city of Stade near Hamburg. A number of other people were also wounded. The 3-month-old baby and her mother were in the office at the time, but were not harmed. 3 people, including the suspected gunman, have been detained by police, and officials said there was no further threat to the public. The shooting appeared to have been committed for family reasons. Oh my god. We really are f***ing idiots.
Okay, so my assumption is good, but it's so the guy basically instead of targeting his family, he targeted the people that were helping them get away from him. Yeah, that would be terrorism then. That's definitely terrorism, because now it's not a family matter because the family didn't actually get injured. Um, so I agree. I actually agree with Jake here. That's terrorism to a very large extent. It would make more sense if the the wife and 3-month-old daughter should be the one what's one of the body count, and and then the other people would be just, collateral. But he targeted the people that were of different opinion or different culture rather than um, the people, um, who are actually working for the center. So, yeah, and that's terrorism now.
It's to them, right? We really are just idiots to them. It was committed for family reasons. Does that hold up in court? Lower Saxony's Interior Minister Daniela Behrens told reporters late on Monday. Now, before you commit a mass shooting, could you please tick the box as to why you're committing this today? Yes, of course. I've family reasons. Yes. She called it an act of violence carried out in an extremely cold-blooded manner with no make no mistake, absolutely no political or economic motives. Okay? Yes, he may have been brown.
Maybe,
Yes, he may have
maybe,
been Muslim. Yes, he may have been from Turkey. But it absolutely had nothing to, he committed a mass shooting for the same reasons that all other Germans do. Yep.
It's not really
because
political,
he's
it's
German and
cultural,
he was
but whatever.
born in Germany. So whenever he does a mass shooting, he does it for the same reasons that all the other German men do. Stop being a bigot. Shots were first reported at around 12. How did he even get a fucking gun, dude? It's so hard to... don't even answer that question. Shots were first reported around 12:10, 10 past 12, local time, or 10 past 10 in the morning. Man, put that in... Oh, I guess that isn't 24 hour. According to local police, which later confirmed homicides involving multiple victims had occurred at a youth welfare facility on Dankerstrasse and told the public to avoid the area. The women and one man were shot dead inside the facility, police said. But why this place? Like, why did he target this place? Was that where the kids were? Was he related to any of them? The suspected gunman was 45-year-old Turkish national born in Germany and living in Hanover, Lueneburg. Police Chief Catherine, another woman. He had an appointment at the center on Monday with many of the victims to discuss the custody of his daughter. Oh, okay, so he did know them. And he just shot them dead. She said he was known to police in relation to threats, but had not been considered as a particularly violent individual. Oh my god, the cliches keep rolling in, don't they? The cliches just keep coming. All these women were like, no, he's not really a threat. Yeah, he shot up an entire youth center, you stupid bunch of idiots. He just shot up a youth center for women and children, you stupid idiots. Well, I didn't want to seem racist to the brown man. He definitely seemed like he was going to kill people, but I didn't want to seem racist. She said he was known to police in relation to threats. I'm going to shoot this youth center, is what he said. I'm willing to bet that's what he said. If I don't get my way, I'm going to kill her, is probably what he said. And the police were like, yes, that's very nice. You probably won't. You won't do that. Yes, I'm going to do that. Yes, if I don't get my way with this custody hearing, I'm going to shoot up the place. No, he's not going to do that. Leave him alone. I don't want the German police to appear as though they are in any way racist. Just because he is brown. He's German, man. He's German. He's Turkish. Yeah, but he was born in Germany, so he's German now. If I'm born in Turkey, am I Turkish? No. The suspect initially fled the scene in a car driven by a woman. One eyewitness told probably his new girlfriend, I bet. One eyewitness told news outlet Focus Online that police shouted, "Stop where you are." Oh yes, the very effective stop. Was it like Holten or something? Stop.
Well,
They held out those police ladies held out their
hold
hand.
on. We're going back for a second. There's one bit that he missed. Because he did ask this question, but he didn't. If he would have read the rest of it, she said that he was known to the police in relation to threats, but had not been considered as a particularly violent individual. He did not have a firearms license. So in Germany, it's really hard to get a gun. It's really hard. And he did not have a license because to get a license, I believe you actually have to own land that's you can claim as a hunter, and then you can apply for a hunting firearm. Um, Maybe somebody should check into this guy because maybe he's got some connections, you know? Maybe he's got some terrorist connections, jihadists, maybe, because it's really hard. So that firearm is 100% smuggled into the country. It is 100% probably through a network of people within his community. I don't know. That's what I think you should maybe go look at. Hey, bitte, you know, look.
Very firmly. Stop, bitte. Halt. Halt, bitte. Super useful. Did they have guns like this fella did? Yeah, one eyewitness told Outlet Focus Online that the police shouted, "Stop where you are," at the man and woman, and then fired repeatedly at the vehicle. They should have just started firing at the vehicle instead of stop. Footage published by Build. Newspaper showed police at a roadblock on a nearby country road, stopping a Mercedes with a blown-out tire. Armed officers are seen in the clip telling the occupants to get out and detaining them as they lie face down on the road. Large numbers of police and emergency personnel have been seen to the area. Children who are at a nearby daycare and primary school at the time of the shooting have since been collected by their parents, the city spokesperson said. Stada is located about 30 kilometers. You're just padding it out here. Absolutely wild. So all of these children were at risk. All of these children were at risk. And 6 people are dead, so that this Turkish guy could feel at home in Germany. So the diversity can continue. There's I have to be careful what I say. We are very, very quickly running out of peaceful diplomatic ways to rectify this issue. Okay, there's 6 dead because diversity and stuff. Unreal. Do we have footage of this? It said there was footage. Armed officers are seen in the clip telling the occupants to get out and detained. It was footage published by Build newspaper. Women. That's a woman. Is that a woman? This is a woman. There's 2 more women here. Woman. Suspected woman. And I believe on the right side here, whenever the camera switches over, I believe more women. Did she drop her gun? Let's watch. She dropped her gun. Did y'all see that? Watch this woman here running over. Oh, yep, she drops her gun. No, did you see this? What? Watch her. She has to, look, watch. She's running, drops gun, right? She drops something here, a gun or something. She drops something. It was in her hands, now it's not. She has to wait until she comes to.
I actually got an idea what this is. She hit her magazine release. That was the magazine falling out of the firearm. Literally falling out. She's trying to reholster, but she probably went a little too high up on that, the precedent. Because police have what's known as a retention holster most of the time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it takes a little more force to put it back in the holster than a standard holster. And because I don't actually own retention, but I think she probably went further up onto the grip of the firearm and actually wanted to put this so she could put more force onto to force it to actually get it in, to basically seat it into this retention holster. I'm not sure. Somebody tell me. I want somebody to actually let me know if that's actually maybe true. But I think she dropped her magazine because most magazine releases are actually higher up on the grip of the pistol.
To a complete stop and then lifts her gun with her back. So glad we've got female cops, man. Like, oh, drop something. Let me just stop. Let me just get that real quick. There we go. I got it. Do you know what that reminds me of? That's very, very similar to the bumbling idiots that we saw during the Trump assassination attempt. Do you remember that? The first one? Do you remember that? They were crowding around Trump and they were trying to get him into his vehicle. And you had one of the female Secret Service agents trying to find her gun. Couldn't find it. You remember that? Yeah, female Secret Service. This is wild that she just drops her. It looks like her gun, right? She's dropped something. This is a shit show. Look at this peaceful, beautiful German countryside. And 6 people have just been killed because we thought it would be really neat to have a Turkish guy living in Germany. Oh, pick up the pace. Yeah, look, you can see the big fat titties bouncing up and down here. Look, yeah, that's a girl's run. Oh my god, it took her 20 business days to get across this strip of tarmac. Oh my god, that is that's female cops, man. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Why are there so many like domestic women here? They're not even military. They're not even like trained or athletic looking. They're just really domestic looking women that they should be at home or working in an office, or at home actually is where they should be. But these domestic looking women, right? So this girl back here, she's running like an overweight like kitchen cook, right? You should be serving food to kids in a primary school. You can see her gigantic cans bouncing from here. She's running like a girl. Like, they're not even athletic. They're not even athletic. They're just domestic looking women that should be at home with kids. Why the fuck are they here? Embarrassing. Embarrassing, mate. Embarrassing. Jesus Christ. Female cops, everybody.
Oh man. Well, I guess we went from that to oh.
At the start of the game, you can choose any.
Sorry, left that running. Yeah, okay. Female cops bad. That's not a good idea. Well, I shouldn't say all, but a good portion. And yeah, if they're homely, I mean, I think that might be a reason why why that word exists. Homely means, plump. Could be nice, depends on your preference. But non-muscular women really shouldn't be cops. Um, so anyway, back to the actual subject. You know, the biggest problem, and he kind of hit it on the head, because I mean, we've had certain Americans have been here for over 150 years, and they still act not of the Americas. And honestly, the biggest thing that I've noticed is that it's actually the biggest problem with it is they can't integrate. They can't fully integrate if you allow them to collect in one spot, because he refers to like African Americans. We've seen it. Well, they still act like they're in Africa. I will say that is true to a certain extent, and I'm actually going to give you a story. This is hilarious in a way, because um, so I grew up in a way that I've experienced multiple places and multiple cultures. And my experience in my younger years told me to not point my fingers at a certain group of people, no matter what. Um, and that has been changing. That's kind of changed in the last 10-ish years, because I've never pointed a finger. I've never said anything bad about a certain culture, a certain group of people. And what happened is well, during COVID, actually, it's kind of more specific, I guess. During COVID, there was this migration out of the cities. A lot of rural Americans will understand this. Um, there was a time period where people came out of the cities because they said, "Oh, the cities are bad, and we need to get out of here, and we want to go to this country." And that didn't exclude people of any kind of culture. So if you followed some of my older videos or some, well, not really older videos, but you'll hear me mention that I'm a middle manager kind of thing in rural America. I work for a corporation, but we have a small location in other places, and I'm in charge of hiring and running the plant. And I hired some folks who were out of the city, and some of them worked out, some of them didn't. But I have a very particular. There's two particular people that were of a persuasion that were African based. And I'm sitting here doing, what I'm supposed to do, and would be considered normal operation. And we had some kind of opening or some kind of, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was an opening for something. And of course, I just, went through and picked um, picked the best fit for it. And he didn't work out in so many different ways. And then there was another one where we were setting up, or actually, we had someone resign from a um, committee. Something that we have to do monthly, and we are supposed to have representatives from um, all the departments that are there. And I decided, well, for this department, let's just go ahead and have a democratic vote for it. And this one was pretty new, and I had a list of employees from that place or from that department, and it wasn't updated by the secretary. And so I made the list for this, just kind of made a little ballot or whatever you want to call it off the list that wasn't updated. And the second, we're doing this, and I'm like, okay, well, you guys, fill out do your ballots and whatever. Of course, for forgetting this person's name. Please forgive me. I forgot your name, and because I didn't have an updated list. And the first thing that had to come out of the person's mouth is because I was racist. And it was like, oh, what? I have never slurred. I didn't even slur. Like, I mean, I'm a goody two shoe on, you know, um, racial differences. And actually, sometimes, like, I find Jake to be pretty provocative sometimes, where it's like, come on, we can't just say all people. I still have this knee jerk reaction, but I understand what I mean. We do have to actually be more react reactionary, um, because if that doesn't happen, then we're never going to have the motivation to actually finally tell these people who have now started using race as a get out of free jail card. Um, Something's finally going to have to push back against this stuff, and this is what's happening. And sadly, um, you know how the pendulum swings. Usually, what happens is it's going to go too far the other way for a little bit now too, because for some reason, people don't realize that if you push too far, I mean, Newton's law works in physics and it works in society as well. Newton's law actually works almost on anything that you try to apply it to. And, if anybody knows Newton's law, and a a force in one direction will have at least an equal reaction the other way. So if you allow things to get super bad one way, you're going to actually have it get really bad the other way before it can, try to reach another equilibrium. And so, God, I'm kind of rambling, but I mean, it's this subject. It hurts me sometimes, because I don't want to actually see that extreme reaction to the other direction. Um, but sadly, it's necessary to a point where we actually have to. It has to happen to actually try to make it back to the center. And I want it to go back to the center. I want to go back to a time where I am not a racist for forgetting that we have a new person and I didn't 100% check the list. Like, I mean, call me a bad boss or whatever the hell you want to call it, but I'm supposed to rely on, the secretary who's supposed to take care of the list. I'm supposed to rely on people to work on certain projects. I'm supposed to rely on, because otherwise I might as well take everybody's paycheck, combine it into my own paycheck, and then run everything by myself. I mean, think about that. That's if I'm supposed to take care of and make sure everything's correct every single day and every single time. I mean, yes, as a boss, you're supposed to do that kind of, but you also have to trust your employees to do that without checking it every time. Because otherwise, you know, it's not worth having employees. So, other than that, my side note, my side ramble, um, it's sad to see that Germany got hit by something. I'm sad that England's getting hit by all this stuff. Um, I I'm sad that I know at some point there's going to be a severe reaction in the opposite direction, and you can see that in most of the youth nowadays that it's getting worse on how they believe in other people. So, anyway, you guys have a wonderful night.